Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash Gorakshekar, and I welcome all of you to another interesting episode of Konexio HighFlyers. Friends, in these episodes, we always try to get you more value addition on the table and get you a lot of emerging companies from emerging sectors, which present us a lot of opportunities for investment. We talk to such companies about their business models, their growth journey, and their future prospects. And in this prospect we process, we also get to meet the promoters of such companies, because meeting the promoters helps us understand the company better. And today, friends, we have got another interesting company for all of you, and the company's name is Uravi Tea and Wedge Lamps Limited. We have Mr. Niraj Gada, who's the managing director and CEO of the company. Niraj ji, welcome to the show, and thank you very much for sparing your valuable time with us today. I'm quite sure this small interaction will help us understand your company operations better. So, Neeraj ji, first question, which is very basic. I mean, let us start with the company's basic business model, and if you could tell us, how this business journey as a entrepreneur started for you. If you could tell us something about your early days, how did you start the business, and currently, what is the positioning of our company in the domestic market, in the sector in which we function. So, if you could add some color and start.
Yes, basically Uravi Tea and Wedge Lamps Limited, which our brand name is UVAL. We are into manufacturing of automotive lighting. So we do manufacture lamps, mainly for two-wheeler segments. The company started in the year 2004, and we started with labor job for some companies who were already doing OEM business. And later on, in 2008, we approached directly to the customers like Bajaj Auto to allow us and approve our lamps to supply directly. So this is how the journey started. In 2008, we got our first lamp approved, and in 2012, we got the rest of the lamps approved. So basically, we started our production with a small one line in Rabale, and now we have around 3 plants, one in Bhiwandi and the 2 plants in J&K, Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay. Okay. Neeraj ji, if you could tell us something about the capacity in number terms, out of these 3 plants, what's the installed capacity, and what's the kind of, currently, what is the kind of capacity utilization we are operating at? Some broad numbers, if you could share.
Yes, sure. See, the capacity utilization and the capacity installed depends upon the product we manufacture. As I told, Uravi is manufacturing automotive lighting lamps for instrument clusters, that is speedometer lamps. And mainly our concentration of Uravi's exposure is with two-wheeler industries, Indian two-wheeler industries. So these numbers may be interesting. To just give the backdrop of the market size what we have in two-wheeler industries India, uh, approximately 1.5 to 2 million two-wheelers are manufactured per month in India, which is a huge number. That is 20 lakhs in numbers, and out of which around 50% market share is with Hero Moto and Honda. And then there are, of course, Bajaj Auto is a major player, and TVS is there, and there are small other players, plus the new emerging EV markets. So as you said, the capacity now, instrument cluster, there are around 6 lamps per instrument cluster is required. In a vehicle two-wheeler, there are 2 lamps in the front, 2 lamps in the back, which we call as a signaling lamp, because over the period we will be speaking on this vocabulary only. And there are headlamps, parking lamps, and number plate lamps. So in one vehicle, if you consider, there are approximately somewhere around 15 lamps are there. So you can just count the number of lamps required per month for India. This is just the domestic market I'm talking about.
Okay.
So in terms of capacity, Uravi is in Mumbai. We have a capacity somewhere around manufacturing 200,000 lamps per day. In Kathua, we have 2 units, where one unit we are manufacturing somewhere around 300,000 lamps per day. And the new unit which we have started, which we have just added the capacity, where we can produce somewhere around again 300,000 lamps per day. So this somewhere comes around 600,000 lamps per day we can manufacture. That is the capacity. And in terms of utilization, in Mumbai unit, that we call as a Bhiwandi unit, which we started somewhere around in 2008, Here we have a capacity utilization of 60% somewhere around right now. In Kathua, one unit, we have a capacity utilization somewhere around 56%. And the new unit which we have started, that capacity is yet to be used. So that is just
Okay.
started somewhere in last month, we only started the company.
Okay. Understood. I think, Neeraj ji, now coming to your other customers, apart from Bajaj Auto, if you could share with us some of the other names, which are the other key customers which the company supplies its products to? If you could add some color here.
Yes. So Urvi, as a lamp manufacturer, the process is that the all OEMs, we call them as OEMs, we recognize them as OEMs, like Bajaj, TVS, Hero, Honda, and other Piaggio and other players. They approve our lamps and they then ask their direct vendors, which we call as a tier one vendors, like Lumex, Veroc, Minda, Fiam, to use our lamps, and they only finalize the commercials and they finalize the SOB, the share of business. Your question was, can you? I just forgot the question. Can you repeat the question, please?
Now, I was saying that Bajaj Auto is a key
Yes,
customer
yes, yes.
for us.
Got it.
Any other two-wheeler manufacturer which actually buys lamps from the company? If you could add some names for us.
Yes, I can do that. For instrument clusters, Udvi's presence is all across all OEMs like Bajaj Auto, Hero Moto, Yamaha, small part of Honda, Tata Motors. Uh, then for the instrument clusters and wedge lamps, we do supply to Mahindra, TVS. So all major two-wheeler OEMs. For indicator lamps and parking lamps also, we are supplying to all major OEM except Honda, which I'll let you know that we are trying to develop business with Honda, which will increase our capacity.
Okay. Okay, Neeraj ji, now tell me one thing that you mentioned about cluster lamps, signaling lamps. Now, tell me one thing, is there, a concept called SKU? Like, do you have different SKUs for different customers? I mean, if you could make it very simpler, like obviously every product, every bike which Honda makes or Hero Motor makes, or TVS makes, Bajaj Auto makes, all the products will not be similar. So there will be some customized changes. So is it based on the customer's requirement that these lamps are manufactured, or is it a standardized product? That is what I want to understand from you.
Yes, basically these lamps, headlamps, indicator lamps, and instrument cluster lamps, comes under the safety norms and are regulated by Automotive Research India, the bodies of automotive manufacturers. So these comes under standard and designs are fixed. You cannot change the design.
Okay.
So all the lamps which we categorize as a signaling lamp or the instrument cluster lamps are of same design and their current wattage output and lumen output is already fixed. So the vehicle
Okay.
manufacturer has to select the lamp which they wish to use. So there is no
Okay.
flexibility in designing part.
Okay. Okay. Understood. Okay. Now, Neeraj ji, now something about the overall market size and the opportunity. See, you all have done a great job in ensuring that you all have got large two-wheeler companies as your clients. Now, tell me one thing. What is the kind of opportunity? As you rightly mentioned, 20 lakh numbers of two-wheelers are made every month in India. It's a huge market. But as far as our company is concerned, as far as Uravi is concerned, what is the kind of outlook which you would like to share? Even without giving any numbers, if you could say over the next say 2 to 3 years, how do you visualize the market opportunity in terms of growth for our company? If you could add some color on this.
Yes, Urvi currently was catering a major part of his business to one OEM in Western India and Southern India. Now, since last couple of months, we could get a major SOB from one of the major OEMs in Northern India. Urvi, in terms of these incandescent lamps, which we are calling as a traditional lamp, we are trying to enter and trying to get our lamps approved with Honda. Honda approximately manufactures about 500,000 vehicles per month. So over a couple of years, if we can get a SOB of around 20 or 30% of Honda, then which it will add our turnover by more than 12%
Okay.
approximately. That is our first target.
Okay.
Secondly, as you know, this segment is changing now. LEDs are coming. So we are now venturing into LEDs. We have started developing LEDs. designing flexibility, you can say, where we have that and we can do that for all the OEMs. And there is a new emerging thing is coming as a EV. So Urvi has
Ah,
started exploring that field as well. So that could be
okay.
a future driving thing.
Okay. Okay, now, Niraj ji, tell me one thing that, in terms of the product segments you cater, that, cluster lamps, signaling lamps, with every customer, tell us one thing that how is the pricing decided? Like, is it decided at the beginning of the year that so much output will be promised to you, from the OEM, and based on that you design your production schedule? But in terms of pricing, is there any flexibility that, you get a price increase if the raw material cost goes up? Or is it a fixed price contract? I mean, I just wanted to understand how is pricing decided on a product basis, by the OEM for your company.
Fortunately, these all automotive majors are well organized, and we get benefit of this organized way of working, a professional way of working. So pricing, of course, when we approve our lamps, the initial pricing, the first pricing is approved by OEM after they test our lamps on the road, and then they decide a price. And according to the price, they initially for the first year, the first 6 months, they give us a price with a limited SOB. Once
Okay.
our lamps are regularly used, maybe after 6 months, they then increase our SOB and the pricing are fixed. And later on, as per the pricing are fixed on the terms of USD, on the terms of other market raw material components, and they are being reviewed by every 6 months. If there is a major change in raw material pricing or there is a major change in forex, then of course OEM gives us support and they review the prices time to time.
Okay. 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 Now, Neeraj ji, tell me one thing that, any business has got obviously competition. There's no doubt about it. But what is the competitive landscape in our, industry, specifically if Uravi is, competing into the two-wheeler lamp segment? Which are the other players, both from the listed, unlisted space, and most importantly, I want to understand what is it that you offer as value to the customer? Like, what is the competitive mode which our company enjoys? Our product quality is good, our service is good. Anything which, as a promoter, you can say that in terms of quality, we are as good as everybody or even better than the other players. If you could add, say, two, 3 points and tell us, what are the qualitative pluses of our company?
Urvi, of course, as a this automotive incandescent lamp, fortunately doesn't have many players because it's a long journey to get
Ah,
your lamps approved and start. So there are hardly two or three major players in this industry in terms of instrument cluster and signaling lamp. And you will be surprised to know there is only one major company in India who is manufacturing headlamps. We are not doing that. That is a halogen headlamps.
okay.
So in this segment, there are limited people, limited companies, but the reason is it is a very challenging thing. The number of lamps which we produce, as you know, somewhere around 500,000 lamps per day, and there is a very strict quality adherence since it is a safety norms. So
Ah,
Urvi as a we are IITF certified company. We do observe all the quality parameters, and Urvi in terms of service and quality has little bit advantage which I can see with other competitors. But in terms of competitors, there are very limited number of people in this field.
okay, okay. Understood. I think nicely articulated by you, Neeraj ji. Now, Neeraj ji, if you could share with us the broad financials for FY23, what has been the revenue, what has been the profit, and if at all, if you got some data points to share for FY24, both on the revenue and the profit front, if you could share that for our viewers, please.
Moment. Yes. For the financial year 23, we did a turnover of 34 crores and with a EBITDA of 5 crore and profit after tax was around 80 lakh rupees. But that was in financial year 23. But in this year, fortunately, the automotive segment has gone positive. It has become positive. Demand has increased. So already we have done the quarter one. That is half yearly 19.38 with the increased EBITDA margin of around 18% with 3.56 crore as an EBITDA, and PAT was somewhere around 1.16 crore. So
Okay.
this were the financials, and we are optimistic as we have got some good uh, leads from the market that this year is going to be a high productive year for all automotive makers by the robust demand in rural India, where this two-wheeler market is major two-wheeler market is. So rural demand is good, and monsoon fortunately was good. So this year is going to be, we expect to grow somewhere around 15 to 20% YOY this year because of the market
Okay.
support. Yes.
Oh, understood. Niraj, now tell me something about your company's IPO plans. I believe company is planning to make an IPO. So if you could share with us what is the objective of raising money from the public, what is the size of the issue. So on this, if you could add some color.
We are already listed, Avinash. So we are already on the main board. So there is no
Okay.
IPO was already done. Yes,
Okay.
this
It was
would
done
be
about a
added.
year
Yeah,
back. Okay.
yeah. 8th July we got listed on NSE main board, and as a
Okay.
SME we got listed in 2018-19.
Okay. And what is the kind of capital expenditure which you have incurred for the new facility? If you could enlighten us, you said new facility has just been set up. So for that facility, what was the broad capital expenditure you spent, Niraj?
We already did Capex in Mumbai, and we had an additional capacity in Mumbai, our Bhiwandi plant, which we
Okay.
transferred in Kathua, because there are Kathua, that is J&K, Jammu and Kashmir, where we have a new plant. We have a good advantage, and there are a lot of facilities from government, state government, benefits from state government, and there are certain production cost benefit as well. So we transferred our capacity from Mumbai to Kathua. So there was no major capex we had to do. Only
Okay.
what you can say capex in terms of some resources we had to give. So that was somewhere around 1 crore rupees, not major capex.
Okay. Okay. And going forward, Neeraj, what is the kind of money you will be you will be spending on increasing your capacity? Like, your capacity is already pretty large, but do you think you will have to raise capacity over the next, say, couple of years so that, you keep, obviously, you cater to the demands of customers, if volumes go up, then you are also adequately positioned to supply to the volume requirements?
As of now, we have adequate capacity, so there is no capacity is required to add for incandescent lamp. And even though
Okay.
if we get an order from Honda in year or half, possibly, there we have adequate capacity. So no major
Okay.
capex is required in terms of incandescent lamp. Yes,
Okay.
but there are other segments where we do have a capex, where in terms of LED we are going to do some capex, and EV chargers which we are going to start soon. Already we are into that, and that will require some capex.
Okay. Now tell us one thing, how does the business work logistically? Like by putting capacity in Katwa, I mean, which are the customers you cater to? Because obviously you get some fiscal benefits there. But in terms of catering to the customer, was there any strategic reason for you to go to Katwa and then, supply products from that unit?
Yes, Kathua has a lot of strategic advantage because Rudrapur and northern part of India is again a major hub. So what Urvi has done in north part of India by establishing a units in Kathua, we are able to cater Daruheda, Gurgaon, Rudrapur, which are three major hubs, Haridwar. These are the major hubs. And then again from Mumbai, we can cater to the southern part of India, Hosur and Pune. So
Okay.
strategically, this was the location which, and J&K government is supporting a lot in terms of infrastructure and other facilities, which will help the unit. So that
Okay.
was the reason we did that.
Okay. No, understood. I think very nicely mentioned by you. Now tell me one thing, 17-18% EBITDA margin which you have said, in the financial year FY24. Now, do you think these margins can be sustained? Hopefully, now we are hearing reports that, as you rightly mentioned, that rural India, demand for two-wheelers is going up. Two-wheeler sector as a whole has started showing a lot of buoyancy, specifically in the festive months, in this festive quarter. Diwali, happened, a lot of good volume growth has happened. Do you think that, with this kind of volume growth outlook potential, our margins of 17-18% will be easily be retained? I mean, we managed, these kind of margins comfortably for the rest of part of the year also.
Yes, I am optimistic about that, with the reason that the shifting of capacity from Mumbai to Kathua has added lot of cost benefit, so that will support our EBITDA margins. And secondly, the business growth which we have occurred, which is just happened in month of September, and that is going
Okay.
to continue throughout. So that is
Okay.
an additional volume which we will get. So these both factors hopefully will be able to help us sustaining those margins and maybe improve also.
Okay. Okay. I think got it. Okay, now coming to the working capital side of the business, Niraj ji, normally what is the working capital cycle? And right from the time you get the customer, you deliver the order, what is the time period by which you get the cash again? That is, broadly, what is the cash conversion cycle in our business? If you could add some color and inform us.
Working capital generally from the lamp is produced and dispatched, it takes around 120 to 180 days cycle is there for
Okay,
OEM. Because specifically the lamp manufacturing, the raw materials are around 80% imports. So that
okay,
stretches the working capital. But Urvi has taken an adequate support and we have adequate cash flow. So that is not a problem.
okay,
But
okay,
working capital cycle is somewhere around 120 to 150 days.
okay, okay,
Normal
understood.
cycle. Yes.
Okay. What is the total debt on the books as of now for the company?
The total debt of company is 26.25 crore, whereas 4.25 crore is a long-term borrowing and 22 is a short-term uh,
Okay,
debt.
understood. So now, Neeraj ji, we come to the last question. Basically, just let us know what is the kind of risk in our business. Like, running this business entirely depends on the health of the automotive sector. But hopefully, if this automotive sector does well and there are no, abnormal events like COVID, do you expect this run rate what the company has achieved in the last few years to continue? And secondly, in terms of risk mitigation, what is the single most risk in our business? If you could add some color and tell us.
Risk wise, I do not see any risk because generally this business, automotive is one of the major growth sector or major contributor to the economy of the country. And whatever is the current scenario and development happening in our country, inflation also I think is in control and demand is good. At present, for current 2 3 years, I do not see any kind of risk involved unless and otherwise, as you correctly mentioned, some epidemic like COVID happens. So that is the total risk. Otherwise, there is no other risk we can predict currently.
Okay. I think very well, explained by you, Neeraj ji. I think it was really a very nice, productive session from your side. Would like to thank you, your entire management team, for giving us this valuable information. And viewers, if you like the video, kindly share and like it so that all the viewers and all people can, get little productive information, from this video. So once again,
Thank you,
thank you,
Avinash.
Neeraj. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for providing the opportunity. Thank you very much.